A word for our listeners. Masks of Nyarlathotep is set in the 1920s. We will be using terms and sayings from those times, including some that could be considered offensive. It is not our intention to offend. We merely wish to offer as accurate a view of the time period as possible. Welcome to the Nerds Domain presents Masks of Nyarlathotep. Join us each week as our investigators follow a path of clues and attempt to save the world from an ancient evil. Starring John Quiett, Jestin Kimmet, Shirley Niedzwiecki, George Chimples, Jason Hall, and Scott Troiano, with Matt Quiett running the table as keeper. Eldritch evils and crazed cultists await you just beyond this music.
Hi everybody, and welcome back to Masks of Nyarlathotep. I'm here with John. Hello. Jason. Hello. Scott.
Hello.
Justin.
Howdy.
George.
Hi.
And Shirley.
Hey.
Very enthusiastic Shirley.
Last time we left our adventurers, Scott, where were we?
Bitter, angered, resentful.
Where, not how did we feel?
Oh, we were in a hotel.
No.
Loading down with water.
No. None of that's accurate. We're at the newspaper place.
Oh yeah, we just got done questioning the newspaper place. I thought we went back to the hotel. Did we not do that? I don't know where we are. I have no idea. I have nothing.
You fought fire vampires, went to the hotel, then went to the newspaper. That is
Right, we got all the questions answered. And now we're going to go see the cousin of Khan Noonien. Singh. We're going to go see Singh.
His name is Tandor Singh. Like, that's
Tandor
ridiculous.
Singh,
Like,
right?
Tandor's a clay oven, right? Like,
That's tandoori.
chicken tandoori?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
I focused on the Singh, not the tandoor, right?
So you guys are headed to Tandor Singh's place.
It's during the day. Yeah.
It's during the day.
It's night.
Yeah, it's night.
Take a nap?
You mean sleep?
You mean sleep? Yeah.
Well, I mean, you guys got off the train, it was daytime, you went and took a nap.
Right.
Now you're going to go to bed for the night?
Well, I don't know. Like, should we knock on this guy's door in the night? That'd be kind of weird, right?
Do
Start a fire.
vampire bats come out mostly at night? Or
I would think. Fire.
Well, these aren't
vampires.
vampires. These are fire vampires.
Well, you could roll your Cthulhu Mythos to find that out.
Boom.
yes. I know.
Yes, they are nighttime only.
Yeah, I suggest we sleep during the night and adventure during the day.
Hey, can
you mean
he
the other way around.
understand any way of how they're, like, following
Yes.
us or finding us?
I did make my Cthulhu thing.
They're
So did I.
probably being controlled.
Great.
Oh.
That's problematic.
By what?
Or who?
Can we do like a, hey, Mr.
No,
Wizard,
because
can we do a reverse divination thingy and like find out how they're doing their stuff?
No, because anyone that would control fire bats and send them after us is a what? In my book.
Spellcasters or what?
Well, I can look up the
No,
spell
bad
itself.
spellcasters. Good spellcasters are great. Good spellcasters are who? Bad spellcasters are what?
Understood.
That's the nomenclature of spellcasters.
As we're walking back to the hotel, I'll just say something to the professor. You had a look of recognition when you saw the picture of Hypatia and Penhew.
Well, the Penhew Foundation. It wasn't a look of recognition so much as a look of acknowledgement as to what he was probably doing to her. Which is what,
Yes, which was...
sucking life force out of her to rejuvenate himself.
Okay.
Monster.
How does that work?
I would prefer not to explain it.
But you are familiar with the technique?
Yes, I picked it up from one of the previous.
Yeah. Have you done this particular?
No.
Perhaps you will get an opportunity to attempt it when we find the individual who is sending the fire things after us.
Yes, well, those can only be summoned at night, most often through September through November, and require a massive amount of magical expenditure to summon two at once.
Out of character. Penhew... It's going to be clear on this. Penhew was the guy... He was on this expedition. Carlisle bankrolled it, thus the Carlisle expedition, but Penhew was kind of the leader, yes?
Penhew also probably bankrolled it in some way since he's attached to the Penhew Foundation.
Right.
And that's what they do.
Who was the guy then that we killed when Johnny was tied to the obelisk?
Gavigan.
Gavigan.
Who
Edward
runs the
Gavigan.
Penhew?
So Penhew, we have not seen
really
Penhew
guy.
aside from these photos. We're following his trail. So Penhew's out there somewhere.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Gavigan was his man in England.
Right. Okay. And your family knew the Penhews.
Yes.
Or sorry, not your ex-character's family.
Oh, yeah, they knew the Penhew. Yeah, no, sorry. Yeah, no.
The captain.
Wilkerson's family knew the Penhews, and I have nothing to do with them.
Yeah.
So you guys are doing what?
We're going to go to sleep.
So we're done questioning this lady?
Yes.
For regaining magic points, how does that work? Do you get that after a full night's rest, or is it like health
You
points?
get technically you get it back within 24 hours,
Okay.
but yes, you'll get it back after a full night's rest.
So we all turn it in?
Unless someone's, I mean, I don't know, is anyone going to suggest that we go talk to these people at night?
No.
Not
How
given-
about we don't get attacked by any more demons?
No, it'll happen.
Right. But how
Staring at
about,
the sky.
how about let's not get attacked by any more demons tonight?
Yeah, okay.
Tonight. Do you have a protection spell you could put on my room?
No.
Crap.
Take the cast that spell.
Do you have a protection spell you can put on your room?
No.
A better question.
What about a
Not in
good-sized box? Because I can sleep in a good-sized box.
I've still been researching ways to deflect bullets with magical magical energies as well.
Yes. But those last demons did not have guns.
Yes, but most of them seem to have.
Those last things are affected by guns.
I can make myself invisible to them, but it takes minutes to bring that effect
Well, I
about.
was hoping I would be able to be included in that so I don't die.
I've never cast it. It's not very useful. Blah, blah. In the traditions of the dead priest, is there somewhere I can buy a cow?
Oh my goodness.
Did you say that in character?
No. I'm asking Matt if there's like a farm or anything like that in this area.
You could buy a large animal. I don't know about
Yeah,
cow.
it will needs to be
On the
size
side,
10.
huge
Huge
cattle
camels.
tables.
Yeah, like
Cattle would
size
be
10
big
or
deal.
bigger. Like a camel would probably work.
So
I
this
guess.
is
They have a lot of
area
cattle.
where
Cattle.
are sacred.
No,
Huh?
Okay.
the Messiah are cow herders. There's a lot of cow.
Rangers?
Yeah. Pastoralists. I mean,
So do we all turn in for the night?
Let's
Unless
do that.
unless the professor is going to bless a blade.
I am. I'm
Well,
gonna
because when
bless
everyone
Mod's
turns in
blade.
for the night, I'm going to sneak off to his room.
I understand that.
Okay.
I'm waiting for the professor to let me know what exactly he's doing tonight.
I'm gonna gather up Ma, and I'm gonna bless his sword
So,
chain.
just the two of you?
We all go. We're all going back to the hotel, right?
Yes.
Ghosts are active.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not gonna be secretive about it. So if anybody else wants to come, I guess they can.
I would like to watch this.
Is anyone not
I'm
going?
just going
Damn it!
How is it described exactly?
I'm gonna sacrifice an animal to his sword to make it hit.
Is there a
Thanks.
bar?
I got it.
let's do this. Let's do this in character.
Go ahead.
Well, I'm gonna track down like a farmer.
No, yeah, that's fine. Are you going to explain to Ma what you're doing?
Yeah. I'm gonna go through like everything I'm doing here. Essentially, we are going to sacrifice the animal to the blade to empower it to be able to strike down foes that would normally pass directly through it. And we'll also prevent the blade itself from being damaged by those enemies in turn.
Okay.
Do you use sacrificial magic often?
No.
I want to procure a set of brass knuckles.
You are more than willing. I'm happy to have you do this for yourself after I do it for Mom. Pay attention.
Fair enough.
Isn't at this time like everything closes down when the sun goes down?
Yeah.
Yeah, give or take.
Like rural
Except
areas,
for
yeah.
saloons or taverns or
Yeah.
anything like that.
Like I'm not gonna like walk out into the town square and be like,
That's how you become a god.
Yes, you can procure brass ring or brass knuckles as well. I'm sure.
Right,
Just have a night though, right?
I guess we'll like go out just a little bit from town. Like where it's private, we're not gonna like wake anybody up or anything.
Who is not going?
I'm going to the bar and then going to bed.
So you're going.
So
by
you're
yourself
going by
to the
yourself.
bar.
Yay!
Are we not all back at the hotel?
Catherine,
we've all said
Yeah, no, but
farewell.
I'm literally like, I'm going to take Ma out of town for an hour so that I can enchant his blade.
You guys go have fun. And you
Okay.
guys are going to go outside in the dark.
Yes.
Why?
Apparently.
Because the last
apparently
thing we were
I'm
in,
capable.
they burned down to get to us. I would just as soon be outside without the burning timbers coming down upon me.
Can we not do this in the morning?
I prefer not.
Did you hear where he's going to sacrifice a cow? Because that's going to draw some attention.
I'm going to go get a bottle of whiskey and follow them.
Ah, shit, you know what that means. Whole town's dead by morning.
Thanks.
Hey, we located the well. I just want to bring that
Just
up.
because I'm drinking?
All right, so you are headed out of town. John, are you going with them?
Yes.
Okay. So everyone is going. Spend your magic points and your sanity.
Yeah.
I
Roll,
want to learn.
roll occult.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
No, I'll like walk you through it. Like I'm not.
You get it down just fine. You can learn that as well if you would like. Ma, would you like to learn this?
I missed it by 1.
That's fine.
Okay.
Because if he's gonna walk,
Yeah, I'm gonna be like this.
through
Is,
it, then
yeah.
that 1
I'm
point
not
is not
paying
enough.
attention.
And what's the spell name?
Blessed blade.
Would we roll
It's
occult?
our modified version that lets
Yes.
things.
So can I only do blades, or can I do?
You can only do blades.
Archie.
How do I-
not do blades? That means that's what he's.
How do I modify this for these brass knuckles?
I will teach him.
So now do I get bless blunt object?
Yes.
All right. Yeah. No, I'll walk the animal out.
I
A
got
camel, whatever. I will ask you for your weapon, and then I will position it and strike it through the heart.
I got an ought to on my
Oh, yeah,
occult to
you're
learn the spell.
So at some later date this evening, tomorrow, whenever, can you walk me through your trunk of miracles?
It's mostly a trunk of vague, obscure things that I'm still trying to understand.
Fair enough. Okay. I would very much still like the tour.
So I will give it back to you. I mean, I will explain that creatures made of mist, things such as that, this blade will now be able to harm. It will function in all ways basically like my machete.
I'll give it a couple of test swipes and then sheath it.
Feels almost exactly the same. I mean, you don't notice anything really.
Yeah. Except that
I believe it has a reddish hue to it now. Is that correct, Jess?
Yes.
Yeah. So once it's cast on there,
So,
it glints just like normal in the moonlight or whatever is going on there, but it does have a red hue to it.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Lord Vader.
Would you also like to cast this on your knuckles tonight?
Yes.
Okay. You can go ahead and use the sanity.
Okay, what's
It's
the...
1 point of POW, 1d4 sanity.
Roll your d4.
Well, I just became George Carlin's character in Dogma.
Ouch.
George Carlin's and Dog.
Yeah, he played
3.
the
The
cardinal
rules
in
of the
New York
road.
who caused the doors to allow the angels to return to heaven.
You blessed your golf club?
I have the option.
You carry golf clubs?
I have the option.
Nice.
But it's also 1 point of POW,
Okay. So that comes down...
16.
Okay.
Those don't come back, by the way.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Which is why that spell I just figured out that I have that can drain POW from things is pretty awesome.
You'll have to teach me that.
No.
Okay.
Yes.
So, you guys then head back to the hotel and sleep?
Unless you're giving me the tour tonight.
I mean, if you really want it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do I notice you have extra sticks now?
No, I've never shown anyone the sticks I carry.
Okay.
Like, the original party knew I acquired them, but nobody
Right.
ever saw me.
So
like,
how
put
many
them out.
sticks are in the trunk? 3?
Yeah.
And I ask, do you have, since you have 3 of those, do you have any of those to spare? And how do they work?
Well, you know they're from a tribe, the Yambi.
The Nambi, yeah.
They are essentially witch doctor artifacts. They are magical batteries that allow you to power spells without spending your own energy.
For the record, you have a pair and one other. That is it.
Yeah. No, I've had 3.
Right. You have a
In the
pair
trunk.
and then one other. The other pair you picked up turned to sand when.
Okay.
Well,
I forgot about that.
just as a reminder, so you have a pair.
Oh, see, because I thought he had 5 too. Yeah.
Okay. So I have the 1.
Okay. Would you be willing to part with that one?
I would be willing to loan it to you.
Oh, fair enough.
Are you having this conversation in your room?
Yeah. You do not need to carry it around with you.
So I failed a sneak, but I passed my listen.
How does it work then?
As I go to the kitchen to get myself my late
Hold
night
on
snack.
to it, activate it, and it will be linked to you for
hear
that.
all of this. It's not like they're just being around.
No.
How much do you fail this week by?
Like a 90 on it. 65.
I'm expecting to be spied upon, so I don't really care.
Yeah, you probably hear it clomping outside your door. You can open it if you want, but Ma's got a plate of food and just standing there.
Yeah, she's like,
Did you wish to come in?
Sure.
You come in, I close the door behind you.
Okay.
So, what else is in the trunk?
I eat dinner while I listen to them.
I have a sacrificial dagger that we took from an altar or something. I have 2 copper plates that are inscribed. I have a set of robes that we took from a priest.
Can you use the spell that we learned this evening on bullets?
No,
Yeah, that would be expensive, wouldn't it?
incredibly.
Fair enough. Very taxing to the mind. Fair enough.
Uh,
All right, so we go through the rest of the trunk. Anything else jump out?
Nope.
You have a weird pith helmet of protection.
There's a bowl of not copper.
There's 2. I have his.
No. Bowl, not disc.
Oh, from the original altar
Right.
thing.
A
Yeah.
bowl made of not copper. It's copper, but not copper.
All right, what's the bowl do?
Don't know.
It's there. You said anything else of interest. That would be weird that it is in fact copper, but not copper. That would pique your interest.
Have you done anything with this bowl?
Not yet. No.
Do we have our water skins at this point?
Yeah.
Okay, can I make cult or...
Did you fill it? No, go ahead.
Not yet.
Go ahead. No,
I also have
Oh, the water skin?
I have the tan
You-
hide of a deep one.
Yes.
It's wrapped up in cloth.
I'm just all of a sudden... Oh, ha, 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 ha. Yep. For both occult or Cthulhu.
To do what?
I'm going to examine the bowl.
Is a bowl of
Yes.
what you
No, not copper.
have read is called copper from above. You don't quite know what that means, other than it's not an earthly substance.
Really?
You're sure there's some sort of ritual that could be used with. You're just not sure what that is.
Okay. I'm going to pour a little bit of water into the bowl.
Wait, you made your Cthulhu? Is that what
Yeah.
you said? Oh well, it's used to send dreams
Send them where?
Where?
to a person's head. Like if you wanted to
Well,
give
as
someone,
opposed to his ankle.
so if you wanted to give someone terrible dreams, you could do that by
Nightmares?
enacting a ritual with this.
Ah.
Like if you wanted to make him walk across the African plains and see Cthulhu summoned, you could do that with this.
Awesome. Because the party doesn't suspect me of shit anyway.
I'm going to share this with Ma and the doctor and go, so this bowl can...
Professor.
Professor.
Now you're not familiar enough with the spell to use it,
Right.
but you know that the bowl would act as a.
Then that whole put water in it and then drink from it, not going to do that right now.
That would be
Not going to... No, I don't think I'll go there.
you lose 7 power. No, go ahead. When you lose POW, by the way, just for the record, you also lose sanity. Because now your sanity score is lower. Your sanity is based off your power.
Okay, how much sanity do you
6,
lose?
so is your magic points. 5.
There's nothing about that anywhere.
Your sanity is based off
No,
your
but I
power.
mean, like, there's something about, like, you lose
Right,
a point
but
of
it
power.
assumes that you know that all of your stuff is based off the things it's based off of. So if you've lost...
No, I've only lost one.
Okay,
Like, I've never cast that spell except one other time.
okay, so...
But wouldn't it be 5 off your maximum?
It would.
Oh,
Which is fair. However, you also lose a point of magic, which is... That's kind of important.
Okay. Okay. You should
Alright,
mention what?
so anything else in the box that you need to tell them about?
The mask is in there, although it's, like, set aside, wrapped up. It's obviously the mask. And 5 spears.
They're deep wood spears, so they're made out of some sort of wood and bone.
Driftwood?
No, you wouldn't
I
have.
thought they were stone spearheads.
Do I need another
No,
roll
maybe-
of
you're right,
Cthulhu
there are
for?
stones.
But they're not obsidian, but
They're not
black,
obsidian.
like
They're
obsidian.
a black stone. You're absolutely right.
Do I need to make another Cthulhu roll? Or then do I know?
They're
Can
not
I
magical at all. They're just spears made by a culture that you're not familiar with.
really? Interesting. All right. Well, I tell them that the bowl can be used in a ritual that can send nightmares to people.
Well, that's perfectly horrifying.
Dreams, not just nightmares, but dreams as well.
Dreams in general, but I could easily send someone a dream to walk across the desert and face Cthulhu.
We could,
Face what?
We could, for instance, keep a... We're thinking of the negative effects. I'm thinking of, like, filling people in on what's going on from a distance.
Yes, but it would be dreams. They would not take them as...
Well, if they're prepared for it, obviously.
Fair
Like,
enough.
you would have a conversation with them through telegraph to prepare them.
But you don't know that ritual either. You'd have to figure out.
Yeah, like, I don't know how it functions. I know the idea.
The eldritch horrors from which these monsters spring.
Didn't I also get some kind of candle?
He gave you a candle and a candle spell.
He did?
No, Archibald.
Oh, you did, yeah, okay.
Yes. Which I still believe is very useful.
A candle?
Yes.
Candle spell?
And I removed one of the candles. And
What does that do?
if both individuals have the candles, which is why I'm giving you one, then by lighting the flame, one can speak into the flame over extremely long distances and communicate with the other person holding the lit candle.
You both have to light it at the same time?
Preferably.
I'll take a candle. Is there anything interesting about this candle, or is it just a normal candle?
It's a specially inscribed candle. There's an inscription on it. It doesn't look anything wacky.
Okay.
He will have to teach you the spell, though, for you to use it.
Now, if I initiate it and he has the candle lit, can
He
you...
still has to use the ritual.
Okay.
What's the name of that ritual?
Candle communication.
Hey, look at that. Okay.
Sounds like a band from the 80s.
I am not going to cut out the silver crown from the top of my head, in my hat.
Okay. Where's the other one?
Dead.
On Wilkerson's body.
So you're saying the bad guys now have one of the...
Yeah,
they
they
have
do.
my good attempt at making one? I don't know.
Yeah, they do. They have all the magical items that Wilkerson had on
It's
him.
going to cost you 5
Magic points.
Magic points and 1 point of sanity.
To learn the spell or to use it?
To use it.
To use it.
Doesn't cost you anything.
You try and teach me the spell.
Oh, yes.
Maximum range is 1,000 miles.
So what we should do is buy a band of retainers and send them out with a bunch of candles.
No.
And then
This
do
is not
this
Dungeons and
remotely.
Dragons.
Do this remotely. So that we don't have to fight the fire things.
No.
Just saying.
I do have the spell Dominate,
What?
just so we're clear.
Why are you eyeballing me? I didn't do anything, Catherine.
Are you guys doing anything
in
else, or
bed.
are you going to bed?
Go to bed.
Bed. Excellent. You guys wake up the next day and have breakfast. What are you doing?
Yay! That's a...
Can I recover my magic points?
Yes, absolutely.
Do we all recover our magic points?
Yes. For Frank, you lose that extra 10.
Bummer.
I'm going to use the stick that he loaned me
Oh, just
in the morning.
He overcharged me.
What does it give me?
10 magic points.
Really?
You can just throw them away. if you want.
Above and beyond?
Yeah.
Yay! That's
They're
cool.
temporary, so don't mark them heavy and dark.
No, I'm going to just put a little dot next to the new one that I have.
Okay.
Yay!
All right. Where are you guys going?
I'm going to see Dr. Streeter.
What are we having for breakfast?
Oh, why can't I go by myself?
Sorry,
You
I
can!
just-
It's just a really bad idea.
Okay. Okay. All right.
I would like to
So we're gonna
see
go
Dr.
find the tea guy.
today.
Well, she would like to go talk to the doctor. Starret. That's what she just told you guys. So
Sounds
I
like
have
a plan to me.
Questions about medical things.
And the other half of us are going to go find Singh, because we're trying to move it along.
Excellent. Okay. So who all is going to talk to the doctor? Just the doctor.
I'll go with the doctor.
Thank you, Frank.
What reason? I don't understand why we need to go. Why you want to go talk to the doctor?
I wanted to talk about some medical things, medical practices in the area, and if he had seen to the care of Hypatia who Shirley doesn't know.
The rest of the Carlisle expedition.
Yeah, and the Carlisle expedition.
What avenue? Or I mean, how does this advance what we're trying to do exactly?
It may give us some inside knowledge about how they were feeling or their mental state at the time of the expedition, at the time that they were here.
And are we going to eventually be securing, I imagine this conversation's at breakfast.
Yeah.
Are we going to be eventually securing some means of transportation to take us northeast of here?
After we exhausted all of the leads, I imagine, yeah, we'll follow the path of the expedition and see what.
Okay.
Since we are breaking up, is there anything that anyone has any notion to ask the doctor about that I could do that for them?
How much of a leap can I make from the fact that anytime that the female typesetter would make the statement of, well, she was sick in the morning, I mean, that's typically, whenever you say a woman is sick in the morning in my brain, it's, oh, she was pregnant. But
In the 20s?
Yeah, I don't know about in the 20s if that.
that's why I'm asking.
correlation is made.
Because I don't want to just blurt out, so yes, ask him who the father of the child was. So
No, the books specifically suggest that only a woman or a doctor would know. So
okay,
I would say
that's
no.
fine.
Based
Then I
on
don't
the
say that.
picture, yeah.
Well,
Do we know
even
what
from
your
the statement,
profession
it
is?
Doesn't suggest that.
Not
Nope.
yet.
All right, so
Wait, what is your relationship?
With?
He was in your tea club?
Yes. That's why I was suggesting we go to speak to
It was
Mr.
our
Singh.
It was our British Tea Society.
That's why I was suggesting we go talk to Mr. Singh.
How did you
about
two meet?
Tea.
How did you meet?
Over tea.
Over tea through the society.
What do you do as a means of earning income, sir?
Well, my income generally sustains itself at this point.
Oh, you're a man of leisure. A gentleman.
Well, not as such. I do have a day occupation.
Which is?
I curated the National Museum of Cairo.
Oh, that's right.
Assistant at curating.
No, but that's what I say.
Okay, never mind.
Because we're not in Cairo anymore.
I
so
knew what you did.
I know you do.
Yes, so you're interested in curiosities.
Correct. And before that, it was whatever the Smithsonian was. Before it was the Smithsonian.
I think it was
Or
the
do we know that
Smithsonian.
yet? Was it the Smithsonian?
I think so.
And before that, it was the Smithsonian in America.
Why are you pointing at me?
Can I have a blank piece of paper?
All right, so the doctor, Frank, and the good priest. No, the doctor and Frank.
Yes, because I'm not sucking fumes on hit points. Let's go.
I have two.
Roll out.
Hey,
You guys go to the doctor. So you arrive at the hospital, ask for Dr. Sark, and he comes to you pretty quickly. There's nothing really going on. All the people that were burned in the train, were you. So he's fine.
Yeah.
It's not got any extra work. What would you like to talk to him about?
Dr. Starrett, hi. My name is Dr. Catherine Whittington from
Cairo.
Cairo. We were just talking to Miss Smythe. Is it Jones or Smythe?
It's not Jones.
Smythe.
It is
There's two names.
Smythe Forbes.
Forbes. Miss Smythe Forbes last evening, and she showed us a picture of the Carlisle expedition. Sorry. And I noticed that Hypatia was pregnant. Could you...
She was what?
She's pregnant?
Frank? I'm talking with the doctors.
Why did you tell us?
I'm sorry, she was what?
She was pregnant? Did you not see her?
I dealt with the Carlisle expedition years ago, but
Mm-hmm.
it was mostly to give them medical supplies, petroleum jelly, opium,
Mm-hmm.
bandages.
Do you know if she saw anybody while she was in town? Maybe a nurse on your staff, or
No, I mean they had Dr. Huston, and while he wasn't a medical doctor, he was
right?
based in the first aid and that sort of thing.
But he wouldn't be
No,
dealing
and I don't
with
think that there
women's
were.
issues.
As far as I know, none of the midwives here in town spoke with her.
Are you sure she was
Did-
pregnant? I mean, it's just a picture.
Yes, I'm positive she was pregnant.
That would explain the sicknesses. I mean, it
Yes.
was clear that she was sick during the day or the mornings.
Okay. Anything else about maybe some small oddities that would usually normally be brushed off?
About
About
those masters?
about the
Oh.
Carlisle expedition.
They
altogether.
were an odd group to begin with.
Right.
So there's a lot of stuff that I thought was brushed off as rich.
Eccentricities?
Yes. Strangeness. But yes.
Was there anyone that came in, or were there any of them that came into town looking rather drawn, but then left?
I mean, Miss Masters looked slightly sickly when she left, but we just assumed it was because she was sick. Everyone else came into town as they left.
Isn't that odd that she would have been sick and not come to you for help?
Ooh. If the professor stated that he was draining her, could he have been double dosing with the baby also?
I'm sorry, what?
Who was draining who?
Draining? What do you mean draining?
The professor.
Way to bring up the occult among the muggles.
Nice.
What?
The
What are you talking
professor
about?
mentioned at breakfast.
Did you talk about that at breakfast?
Yes.
Yeah.
I said he was draining the life from her.
Yes, that's very possible, Frank.
I'm sorry, draining what?
Her energy.
All of the petroleum
sorry.
jelly and opiates.
What?
I'm not quite sure what Professor Whittington was alluding to.
You're Whittington. He's
Oh,
Wentworth.
God.
All right, people. Professor, doctor. Technically doctor, but doesn't go by it.
I'm
Professor.
quite insane.
You're doing
Quite
it
mad.
Wait.
here, okay?
Killer of select individuals. Mass murderer.
Killer of villages.
All right. So, Mr. Cooper, this the energy.
We've been following some strange things. I was wondering, has anybody been burnt lately? Has anybody?
You yourself look quite.
Other than me, recently.
Have come to see you at the
No.
hospital.
Has anybody been cremated lately?
No, that is not the local custom, nor is it something that the Anglican Church suggests.
Has anybody in the area or locals
Unwillingly.
have come to see you? Have they felt drained or been sickly with no cause?
No, can't say that there have been.
Can I roll a psychology?
Yeah,
I mean,
sure,
is
go
it-
ahead. You can roll whatever
Psychology?
you want.
Oh, great.
No, you can roll.
I still
Oh, yeah,
fell.
I got it.
Yeah, no,
I'm
no,
13. Nice.
No, he's telling you the absolute truth. In fact, he seems suspicious of you now.
Of course he
This
does.
whole energy draining.
And I glare at Frank for a second, and I'm like, tell him not to say anything.
And now
else.
you know why he's my wayward student.
So you don't know of anyone who may have seen Hypatia while she was here?
No,
Hypatia.
no.
That is strange. Did they take on any more help?
I mean, they hired some of the local Nandi tribe, but
No midwives or
not that I'm aware of.
Do we know where they were staying yet?
They were staying at the Hampton, right?
The Hampton House.
Yeah,
Hampton
the
House.
Hampton House.
Not the Hampton. The Hampton.
The Hampton Inn.
The Hampton House.
Get double points.
So. Okay, well, thank you very, very much for speaking
Now,
with us.
maybe one of the Nandi had a midwife. One of of them was a midwife, but I doubt it.
Why would you doubt that?
I don't foresee a member of the Nandi tribe, a midwife of the Nandi tribe, working with one of the whites. It just doesn't seem.
Natural.
But they were helping them by packing their goods?
Yeah, that's totally different. There are nurses within town and white midwives even that can handle such things. You wouldn't go. These were people of culture and means. They wouldn't go below their station.
Well, as you said, they were acting strangely. Maybe they wanted to keep it a secret.
Well, if there was a midwife, they're dead now, left out in the forest.
And if I were to request that the Nandi come along with our expedition, where would I go to request
I'm sure that you could speak with maybe the British consulate and get something set up that way.
this? Okay. And you said there's nothing else that was strange about.
There's lots of stuff that was strange, but nothing that stuck out to this. I'm still surprised that Miss Masters was pregnant.
Why are you surprised?
She didn't seem. There was no. The connection between herself and Mr. Carlyle did not seem that strong.
Was there connection with anybody there?
No, not really. All right, where are the four of you guys going? You guys are all going to get some tea?
No, I'm going to be up in my room.
By yourself, good.
Yep.
Got it.
Yeah,
Are you
we're
going to
going
get tea as well?
Yeah, Tandor soon.
Are you, Ma?
Oh yeah, for sure.
This is what I'm going
We're
to be
going to
transcribing
go-
into a grimoire.
That'll take a while.
Yeah.
That'll probably take 2 or 3 days
Yeah.
solid worth of work, so you can start working on it, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so the three of you head to go eat some tea. You find a small building topped with a tin roof on Biashari Street.
Busted.
What?
He's quoting a Love Shack by the B-52s.
Got it.
Rusted.
It's open. Seems pretty normal. You guys just going inside? It's a tea
Yeah.
shop.
Yeah, man.
With your British teas, some Indian teas, other teas that are tea that
Oolong.
Is there any oolong?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a good selection. It's just not fresh. It's as fresh as it can be. I mean, it's gonna be a slow trip here from anywhere.
The tea's dried, so that's okay.
But he's still importing.
Yeah, he's a tea importer.
It's part of the British Empire. There's the British Empire, there's tea.
Good point.
We throw it in the ocean and declare independence.
We're not near water. Couldn't attract fish.
We just go back and forth.
Oh, okay.
You know.
Okay, so who's speaking for the group, or who's speaking at all?
Are there any other customers in there?
No.
You said that this was in Brown Town?
Yeah. So if you talking wouldn't be that. It would be odd, but not that bad.
No, don't want to be odd.
All right.
Wait, what's your background? You're from America. You're French.
Yes.
Okay.
French and American.
Great
from China.
tea
Walk
drinkers.
into a tea shop.
China has a tea.
Tea is
culture,
from China.
but I mean, it's understood that that's
Huge, yes, absolutely.
Okay.
What?
I mean, I'd be looking actually like
English and Arabic?
seriously looking at tea and like
They probably don't have any specific like Chinese flavors, but there are a lot of Indian teas here. Blends. There's the word. There's a lot of.
I would look interested and seem to know what I'm looking for and talking about.
You probably have tasted several kinds of teas.
Oh,
in
yeah,
your
well,
travels.
especially, yes.
On the way over, I guess we would have talked strategy.
That's a lot to assume with this group.
Yeah, let's not go too crazy here.
Well, the father would have tried to have the conversation about how to approach him. Do we just want to be? Because his standard approach is lay his cards on the table and see what comes up. Does anyone object to that?
Yes.
Just throw the cards on the table and then hope that God sorts it out.
Right.
Fair enough.
Inshallah, but we know these vampires, these fire things, are being sent by someone. We know that the leader of the Carlisle expedition, the true leader, was meeting with this man. What if he is the one who is directing forces against us, saying we have come here to investigate? Well, but then if he knows who we are, it makes no difference.
So, reminder of events. The fire bats, or fire vampires rather, came from behind, like,
From
the
the
train.
side.
The train is moving forward.
They kind of came off from the side, maybe towards the front-ish.
But we were moving whatever direction forward. We went south at that point. So they came. I guess what I'm. Well, we're not in the right place to ask this question. The father realizes where would the exact mechanics of the summoning? How would that have happened?
Archibald.
Archibald, are you familiar with the summoning of these creatures?
Not intimately, no.
Roll your Cthulhu. See if you can explain it. See if you can explain it accurately. He can explain it.
Yeah, he would.
Nope.
I
I doubled what I was trying
Would
to get.
you BS your way through this, or would you be honest and say you don't know the answer to the question?
I would start with, I don't know it intimately. Generally, these things...
I gave you some details.
Generally, these things are drawn from wherever they reside to this plane or to this planet. Either or. And they come from that direction. It's very vague in the way he explains it, but he tells you he doesn't know it intimately. So in a general sense,
Right.
it's like, how do you catch fish? You throw stuff in the water to get them to bite something. Usually.
So then the question that would follow, which again he may not have the answer to, do you call them to any point that you wish, or do you call them to the caster? Like, were they set upon us like dogs, like the master sent them out
Typically.
to us?
Roll your knowledge.
I'm going with that.
Okay.
All right, I'm rolling my knowledge.
Really?
Knowledge times anything?
No,
or...
just knowledge.
Oh, yeah, I made it.
Yeah, your knowledge should be relatively high. It's based on your
Right.
education. When you do the summoning, you give instructions. Now, if that instruction is come to me and do my bidding, that's an instruction. If it's go find these people on a train, that's also an instruction.
Right, but my thought would be, and the way that I would preface it was that if you were to pull creatures from a fire, you would build a giant fire, you would pull them through, and then send them to do your bidding from there.
Unless they're from another planet and you just bring them from
Right.
the sky.
Right. Unless they're from, like, the moon, in which case you would bring them from the moon out of the sky towards us, as has happened twice
So
now.
I guess my thought was maybe the person controlling these creatures is closer to us than we realized, and it was on the train itself.
That's a solid deduction. That's, like, I will tell you that is a solid deduction that he would have had to have seen you to call him to
Yeah,
attack
he
you at all.
needs to know where you are, yeah.
Yeah.
So the odds that, I mean, it's possible that a telegram got to Sing here ahead of us, and he was told to, or he decided to send the fire bats at us and attack us on the train.
Yes, this is a good line of inquiry. He is a tea importer, and so perhaps was Mombasa on the train with us. That would be a good thing to ask him, maybe.
Right. So,
We will follow your lead then.
all right then. So yeah, we go in, and is he waiting behind the counter?
He's probably like half squatted over a box, like sorting through things.
Okay.
He stands up and in a thick but understandable accent, Indian accent, says, Good morning, gentlemen. How may I help you today? Are you interested in any teas specific?
We would be interested in seeing anything of particular interest. We are traveling with some English friends, and they would like perhaps to sample something from their, or to have resupply their teas of their homeland, like English breakfast tea.
What is your freshest tea? I mean, what you've most recently acquired or restocked?
We've received some new stuff in the last couple of weeks, but most of the teas I have here are well preserved, so that the freshness isn't impacted.
Nothing in the last few days?
No, I haven't received anything in the last.
Just curious.
So,
he walks you through a couple of British teas.
okay.
Nothing super important. She speaks out. It's not low grade, but it's also like it's decent material for being this far away from where it's from. So it's not going to be your high quality stuff that you would never ship this far because
You're not going to find any TGSOP here.
yeah. But you're going to find your basic gamut. He might be missing a thing here or there that he just doesn't have in stock because he either bought out or he didn't order it or something. But he does have a wide variety of Indian teas. And he explains, if your English friends have been stationed there, some pick up the taste for such things, and he walks you through those. He seems more knowledgeable on those, but he's also Indian. Makes a little bit of sense. Overall, he seems very, aware of his job and of what he's selling, like he should be.
I will steer the conversation to ask him about how I'm a world traveler, and I'm very interested in hearing people's stories about how he managed to come from his homeland to be here.
It seemed like a good business opportunity. He explains that his father was a merchant, and he's a merchant, and he saw a chance in Nairobi with the African rifles and the new train line. This is a ripe place to just make money. And he doesn't seem to be doing too bad. His shop is not great, but he's not hurting at all.
How long has he been in business here?
Probably 7 years.
Then you would have seen the Carlisle expedition when they came through.
Yes, Sir Penhew was avid is not the right word, a good drinker of teas, and I resupplied them several times while they were here.
So you got to know them well.
As well as you know any customer.
Psychology?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a 6.
40 under 60. Does he like flinch or react in any way that would seem suspicious based on the mention?
They were customers, as far as you can tell. And he knew them as well as he knew customers.
Is he wearing a turban?
Yes, and he has a long curly beard, kind of goes up. Hold on, guys. All right, so yeah, he definitely thinks that they were just regular customers.
Cool. I buy some too. How big is his shop?
It's not huge. It's small for what we would consider a modern shop, but for the time, it's probably proper.
Is there a back room or anything, or is it just like big things of tea just out in the open? Like,
Is there a back door?
There is a back room. Probably his storeroom is back there and his personal residence.
Yeah.
But you don't. There's not a second floor to this whole.
Anything-
I'm sorry. There is a second floor. Yeah, he has a second floor.
Anything weird or occulty out in the open?
No.
Monkey paw.
Give me a spot in just
Pass.
you. He seems a little on edge, and he's fiddling a little bit, or fidgeting a little bit, but nothing. There's something's putting him on edge, but you can't tell quite what.
Is that was just for Maud, right?
Yeah.
So I asked him, have you heard the stories of the fire on the train?
Yes, I heard that there were some interesting visitors, and that something happened on the train and in the street last night.
In the street last night?
Yes, there was some sort of, they were dragging something flaming behind them, and they put it out, screaming about fire.
Odd.
Absolutely. Have you heard any of those things?
We were on the train. We arrived on it, and we saw the fire. But
Were you in the street last night to see that as well?
I was not.
Okay.
I don't know if any of my friends saw anything. That's a new story for me, says the priest.
What's your bonus for your
Job,
Yeah.
credit rating.
Oh, you get extra. I mean, but you don't get a special like.
No,
Like
I got
charged by a
special.
lion. You don't have to. Okay.
No.
Alrighty.
So after the incident on the train, when we arrived, we heard stories of monsters. Are there any local legends or anything?
Well, there are plenty of local cults, but I'm not very familiar with any of them. Roll psychology on that.
9.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
12 under 65, 60.
Wow. Okay, so both of you succeed a lot.
Yeah.
By a lot.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like in the single digits kind of area.
I was 12.
Wow, that's close.
Like beat it by 30.
Okay. There's something off there. Something about him not knowing of the local cults.
I noticed your turban, sir. Do you have a faith?
Yes, absolutely. I'm a follower of the Hindu.
A smile.
That is an interesting culture there, the Hindu faith. I'm not very familiar with it. Are you able to...
Are you dressed with full like priest clothing with the collar, or are you in something more relaxed? This might be important since you're going to go down that religious.
Do you have a Pope hat on?
I mean, yeah.
Wait, are you the Pope? Have we been traveling with the Pope? Because that'd be cool.
That would be cool.
There is a proper priest traveling clothes.
Right.
Like, would you dress like that, or would you dress something a little more rugged that you could safari in?
Scream man of God.
With pockets and such.
See, I don't know much about how things were done back in the day. I can only go off my 1982 and forward knowledge, and I never saw an acting priest without the black shirt and collar
Yep.
Fair enough.
myself. So I'm gonna go with
Well, the question is, would you be hiding it? I guess is really the question.
I might be wearing
Something less, a little
over it, but like that stark white.
So you're not
square.
like full vestments with robe and
Oh,
stole
no,
and all
no,
that,
no.
but you're wearing like a
the
black shirt,
the
and
black
probably,
button-up
like,
shirt and the
maybe
white collar.
khaki pants. That makes sense.
Yeah,
for the,
something.
Okay.
The outerwear would definitely be normal, but the shirt would have been the.
You're
the
dressed
standard.
in priest casual.
Yeah.
Black on black on black on white. The
Yeah.
white collar.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm sure that you've done some research as a member of faith yourself.
At least to know what the heathens believe, roughly.
Well, that particular culture's not ever come up in my
Oh well,
personal studies.
I could give you an in-depth walkthrough, but I don't know how much time you have for such things, and I wouldn't want to pull you gentlemen away from anything more pressing. But yes, it is very different from your Western cultures. Lots of different rituals and
Gods?
significant importances. Oh, yeah, absolutely. We have several instead of just the one. Or the three, if I understand this Trinity thing.
Not quite, but again, without going into lessons and schooling, it would be hard to explain.
John, give me a roll on occult.
Yes.
As he talks about it, there's a knowledge of someone raised within that church, but not he doesn't have that look of belief in his eyes. It's like as though he has converted to something else, and he knows it's fact that these things are what other people believe, but he doesn't have that look of belief in his eyes. And you've seen that before in other, especially after the war, with people who went through some of the same stuff that you did.
Yeah, I'm out of ideas. I don't know how to press this guy other than to go back to burn tactics and just pull out a gun.
So,
Right.
yes, the three gods versus one god versus many gods. Personally, I think the whole gods thing is silly to begin with, but that's my own personal stance. Not been overly religious. Apologies, Father. So you said you were close with Mr. Penhew?
As close as a customer and a salesman are.
Were you not closer than that?
No, but he was a gentleman.
Yes,
I'm
but
merely a tea salesman. I happen to carry a full flavored oolong that he enjoyed, and I was the only one in all of Kimmet that carried it. So that made me very important.
oolong is delicious. That is to be granted. Didn't you pose for some pictures with him? We saw them at the newspaper.
You didn't actually see any pictures.
I thought we saw pictures of him.
You were told that they met with him, but that was it.
It's okay, you can lie.
Yeah, you can absolutely lie. I'm just making sure
Okay.
Scott is on the same page.
All right. Yes, we saw pictures of you, did we not?
I don't believe so. I wouldn't have posed for any pictures. I don't even think the expedition would have wanted me in pictures like that.
I could have sworn that was the photo that Miss Smythe Forbes showed us.
There was a gentleman that looked a lot like Mr. Singh.
That was my understanding. She had said you were more deeply involved with the
Can you give me a persuade roll, please?
fast talk. I'm gonna try to talk him into
It's a
this.
Persuade.
Is it persuade? All right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I've only got a 75 in it. I'm good.
You need to mark your skills.
Oh yeah.
No, I don't believe I was in no picture. He seems slightly anxious about that entire idea.
You seem somewhat jumpy at general questions of Penhew, or
Oh, I mean, there's some belief of curses on such a group that dies in such a way. I just don't want to.
I thought you said you weren't really versed on the local.
A murder like that doesn't. It's not like that just passes by and no one notices. That was a very large deal. In fact, I've heard rumor that the bodies are still there, unchanged.
Really?
Absolutely. That isn't that terrifying?
Very much so.
If they haven't decomposed, can you imagine
The horror.
the whole? Yeah, that is precisely the word.
So what else can you tell us?
Um,
Since I was in the street last night.
Mr. Lancaster is a collector of curiosities, you may say, whereas my other employer is a man of God. Mr. Lancaster is interested in more esoteric things, perhaps. He may make it worth your while.
Hence why he has such a well-spoken Chinaman working for him. You don't find those very often that speak such clear English.
I travel.
Clearly, you are in Kenya.
So we are curious to know as much as you know about the Penhew and Carlisle expeditions. Everything would be helpful.
I can tell you that they were here. So 5 years ago, I think that he tells you the right dates. And I met with Sir Aubrey a handful of times. Stocked them up with not just his oolong, but something for, I believe, Miss Masters to help settle her stomach. A nice mint tea, something like what you'd find in Cairo. I did offered a few other things, but that was mostly just as a shop owner, and that was about it.
Were you ever in a position to acquire any of the more esoteric pieces that the expedition may have come across?
Esoteric pieces. Could
Yes.
you be more
Vague?
less vague would be preferred.
Of course. Anything they might have found along the way. As Mr.
No.
Ma says, I'm a collector of curiosities.
I was paid in British pounds.
Good.
I received nothing else from them.
Because as an importer and an exporter of tea, I was wondering if you might have imported or exported anything else on their behalf.
No, absolutely not.
Because the whole subject of...
You already had your psychology manual.
because the whole topic of the Penhew Carlisle expedition seems to make you a tad more nervous than it should if all you were providing them is tea. And I wish to know more.
The idea of being in a picture with them. Whatever killed them was not just some animal.
What
Whatever
was it?
killed them, I have no idea.
Do you have any information that might...
That massacre is well beyond my information and knowledge.
Then what makes you so jumpy?
Because whatever killed them could associate me with them if I'm in a picture with them.
Is there any way you can help us with the information we're looking for?
What
I mean, I wouldn't want to...
What information are you looking for?
as
The
mu-
black tongue, the white gorilla.
The black, you mean black tongue? Or you mean bloody tongue?
Bloody
Bloody
tongue.
When you see bloody tongue, he goes a little white.
Such as it is.
Yeah. No, I can't help you with anything regarding the bloody tongue or the white gorilla or...
See, that doesn't look... You don't look like a man who knows absolutely nothing. You look like someone who just seemed frightened for a moment.
Okay, so just to remind me as the person running the game, you are corded muscle and dangerous looking, right?
Yeah, and I'm popping the hinge on my cane so you can see that there's no blade inside.
You,
Think
Scott,
was red.
are like... Are you a little Burke Bookery looking?
A little taller, a little bigger, athletic from school, played lacrosse in school. I'm not necessarily
What's
imposing.
your strength sitting at?
12. Or, I'm sorry, 11.
And,
But I'm a size 14.
okay.
So I'm tall.
John?
Solidly built, strength
So
10,
three
size
murderers.
Yes.
3 guys that could rough him up pretty easily, at least.
11. Yeah,
Three
I mean,
huge guys.
I don't know what his. I'm size 11, strength 10.
That's a good question.
So whatever, like I think those are considered average in this game.
Do you have a damage bonus?
No.
I do.
Because we both do.
Yep.
And that'll do us tonight
Oh,
for
you-
Nerds Domain Presents Masks of Nyarlathotep. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter. Go sign up for our newsletter over on the website on the right-hand side. Support us on Patreon at patreon.com/nerdsdomain. And you can buy our shirts over at Slash. And we will talk to you guys real soon.
This has been a production of the Omega Nerds Network, the network where it's on.